We're heading into the holiday season, and that means there'll be lots of events coming up. We'll check in with local organizations about some of the events that they're hosting. That's next on WNIN Newsmakers. Welcome to WNIN Newsmakers. I'm April Nading. Here to talk about some of the events happening in Evansville is Adam Trinkle, Executive Director of Downtown Evansville Economic Improvement District. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about, you have an event coming up called Night Market. What is that and when is it?
Yes, so this Friday, November 1st from 5 to 8 p.m., we are activating 4th Street from Locust to Chestnut, and we're bringing in about 40 local makers. And so it's really an opportunity to kickstart your holiday shopping season, support local makers, and enjoy an evening in downtown Evansville.
When you say makers, what do they make?
So it's a wide variety of makers that'll be there. So people think about maybe people that make like handmade items or wax melts, candles, jewelry, soap, really specialty curated items, and they're all by local makers. And they typically, in most cases, these are individuals who don't maybe have a physical brick and mortar location. They're working out of their home, or maybe it's a side passion for them. So we try to do some of these events throughout the year to elevate their presence and their profile, but also really at the core of why we do events as an organization is to drive consumer footfall and ideally consumer spending into downtown.
So is this a new event?
This is our second year hosting this, and
Okay.
we hosted 3 different night markets throughout this year, being very intentional about maybe going beyond Main Street, where a lot of our events are held. Main Street will always be the central focus of downtown, the hub of our whole city, but we recognize as there's development that takes place on other streets like 6th Street and 4th Street, it's really crucial that we try to drive some consumer footfall there.
And what kind of selection process did you have for the makers that are included?
Yes, so we get a lot of outreach from a wide range of makers, but we do really try to curate it. This will be kind of really focused on the holidays. So and again, it has to be someone who makes and sells their own items. It can't be like secondhand sales of something. So we really try to be very intentional in our curation process.
Well, it sounds like, that'd be a real opportunity for people in the area to experience some different things. So.
Sure, yeah, and we love hosting this on 4th Street because, we love to highlight the businesses. So on that street alone, you have Goldman's Pawn Shop. It's in its 5th generation of ownership, the longest continuous pawn shop in the state of Indiana. You've got Samuel's, which is a great eatery, Jaya's, which is a long-standing restaurant, and just Rennie's, of course. So any opportunity we can to help tell the story of our businesses downtown, we try to take advantage of that.
And when does Night Market start and end? What times?
It's at from 5 to 8 p.m.,
Okay.
so it's about a 3-hour event.
So the Saturday after Thanksgiving is usually set aside for small businesses. I think it's Small Business Saturday. What do we have planned as far as downtown Evansville for that event?
Sure. Again, this is an opportunity for us to really help elevate the message and the voice about the importance of shopping small. I could rattle off a number of statistics, like 68 cents of every dollar you spend at a small business stays in that neighborhood, or 44% of economic activity is driven by small businesses. These are crucial stats that we help to communicate, but also tell the story of all of our small businesses in downtown Evansville and the uniqueness and the importance they play in our local economy. So Small Business Saturday, for many of our businesses, is their highest sales day of the year. On average, I know from talking with our shops in the past, some will enjoy sales that are 8 times higher than a normal Saturday. So we feel like we do a really good job of getting the message out there. Again, we just try to drive home that economic impact and importance of shopping small. So it's really an all-day event. I think starting around 9 a.m. we'll have some activities out on Main Street. We're also doing an incentive where if people go around to participating shops and they purchase something, they can get a stamp on a passport and turn that back in to win some free gift cards. So just some incentives that we're trying to do to really drive home the importance of shopping small, not just on that day, but year round.
Sure, and also not just downtown.
Yeah, we're focused on downtown, but sure,
Right.
There's a lot of great businesses throughout our community. We're our organization is funded primarily by the downtown property owners, so anything that we do is going to obviously highlight them. But yeah, throughout our community and our region, there are great small businesses, and we just encourage you, to take that maybe extra step sometimes and think about the long-term impact of supporting a small business versus maybe a large chain.
Or just going online, it becomes so easy. But I think a lot of times people forget that they're hiring locally, they're putting money back into the community, they're helping with taxes. I mean,
Sure,
there's a lot.
They're paying taxes that support, our roads, our infrastructure, our police, our schools. So you have to, think about the big picture, and that's the message that we try to tell alongside this event on Saturday, November 30th.
So what other holiday events do you have planned for December? I mean, I'm sure there's a tree lighting coming up.
Well, the city is doing a tree lighting, and they're hosting that on November 30th as well. So we're not a city department, but the mayor's office, I know, is we're going to be there for that event. Very excited. I think that's Saturday, November 30th, the same day as Small Business Saturday. I believe it kicks off in front of the Civic Center at 5:30 p.m. So always a great annual event. I think there will be some music there, choir groups, and some activities. And so we'll help celebrate that because that's, of course, in our downtown. And then our organization puts up holiday decor. So our crew is actually working on that over the next few days.
I saw them out the other day putting up the snowflake, I think.
Yes. So snowflake, nutcrackers, all of those things that the community has come to love. Why do we do holiday decor? Again, it's an intentional opportunity that we take that we know people take advantage of. They come downtown, they create memories, they take photos, they go out on holiday cards, Christmas cards.
Social media,
right? You have to post it on Instagram and all those places. But it really is, for us, it's intentional. How do we drive consumer footfall? And while they're down here taking those pictures, capturing those memories, hopefully they're going into some businesses, stimulating the economy that way. And it's just really a great opportunity.
Okay, sounds fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we'll talk to Becca Scott, Director of Communications and Community Impact at the EVPL. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have some fun stuff coming up.
We do. Thank you for the opportunity to share this information.
So we're going to start with the Dia de los Muertos event. How was that? Was that pretty good?
Excellent.
And that's this weekend, but tell me about that.
It's this weekend, and so it's this Saturday at EVPL West, and this is our 8th annual event. It's co-planned by EVPL, Montessori Academy, and Signature School. And Dia de los Muertos, it has a lot of different influences, but it's mostly a Mexican Latino celebration that calls back the spirits of people who have departed. And so it's a celebration of people who we have loved, who have passed on.
So is it anything like a Day of the Dead kind of thing?
It is.
Yes. Okay.
That is exactly what it is. So people associate this with Halloween, but it's truly more tied to All Saints Day. And so it's a collection of different influences. But the celebration is featuring music and food and family togetherness. And so it's meant to acknowledge that death is a part of everyone's life and sort of remove the fear from it and remember people that we love.
So what can people expect there? I know you mentioned food, but I mean, is this going to be something where you could come here and have your dinner, or what?
So the event will include music and dancing and singing and crafts. And so all of those particular parts of the event are free. We will also have food trucks that will be selling, some authentic cuisine. So that will be the only part that would cost you. If you do want to have some authentic food, we invite you to do so. And then there'll also be a really special display of ofrendas. So ofrenda is a collection of thoughtfully gathered pieces that are designed to help you remember the loved one. And the thought is that it will summon their spirit back to spend a day or two among the living. And so it has some traditional pieces, but also things that might be the person's favorite food or something that they really loved. And so there's a beautiful collection of ofrendas in the lower level of EVPL West. And so in addition to that, we will also announce the winners of our piñata contest. We had 39 entries from children ages 0 to 18, so that's really fun. And then there's an art parade at 5:30 where people make homemade floats that celebrate Dia de los Muertos in one way or another.
Well, this all sounds like a lot of fun. And so I expect people will be dressed up in costume. And
Yes, in traditional wear, and you'll actually have the opportunity to try on some of these pieces. It's a really, really special event with something for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Now, McCullough just went through some renovations, and there's a celebration of the completion. And when is that, and what's going on for the celebration?
So EVPL McCullough opened in 1965, and this is really its first major renovation. And so we were closed for the better part of a year to reset the whole floor plan and just really reimagine the library. And so on November 15th, we're going to have a program, an open house and a celebration from 2 to 6. So it will start with a ribbon cutting and speakers, and then there'll be an open house with activities, some memorabilia, and some other fun for people to come in and remember the former McCullough that they might have grown up with, and then the reimagined library now.
And remind me, which one's McCullough? Where is it located?
So it's the one on Washington Avenue near Washington Square Mall.
And it even has some neat little seating things. I've seen pictures from there, and it looks pretty cool.
The children's area has been reset, and there's these cozy little cubbies set into the wall. We also have 4 new small meeting rooms, which are very much in demand. And so it's been very transformed.
Was the remodel designed based on another library, or how did you come up with the ideas, like in particular for the kids
So there are
area?
different influences, and so of course our leaders and the organizations that we work with to remodel, they took influences from different places, but it's really part of our overall master plan that when we look at our facilities, how are we best serving the community? And then what do we need to do to evolve those spaces? So right now we're also renovating North Park, and then some renovations at EVPL Central will be starting before too long.
Okay. Now, you have announced your Speak series lineup for 2025. Can you tell me a little more about that?
We are really excited about these authors that are coming to town. So the authors that we've selected for Speak, they encourage us to reflect on our individual and shared past. So they tell stories that reflect individual struggle and history and personal and collective things that we all sort of have to work through. And so the stories encourage us to connect through these human experiences to then build a more inspired future together. So we have 4 authors in this theme.
Okay.
And so I just want to announce them and maybe some of their most known works. Timothy Egan will be here in March, and he is known for writing the book A Fever in the Heartland, the Ku Klux Klan's plan to take over America and the woman who stopped them.
Wow.
And it has a lot of Evansville in it.
Oh,
So
included in that.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a really compelling read. We'll also be welcoming Ralph Shane, and he wrote the graphic novel Hour of Need, paying tribute to heroes who saved Danish Jews during the Holocaust. And his appearance is also sponsored by Cypress and the Recknick Foundation. They'll be doing some presentations in schools. And then Angela Jackson Brown, she is a professor at IU, and she's an award-winning writer. And she has 2 books, When the Stars Rain Down and The Light Always Breaks, that she's particularly known for. And then finally, Kwame Alexander. He is an Emmy-winning producer, he's an author, he's an educator, he's a poet, and he is a really big author, and we're excited to welcome him. And his book, The Crossover, has been made into a series on Disney+.
Oh my gosh. And they're coming to Evansville. That's pretty exciting.
And these events are completely free due to the generosity of the EVPL Foundation. And as the events get closer, we'll share more information about VIP receptions and related programming, and that'll be available at evpl.org/speak 2025.
And that's what I was going to ask. How can people find out more about events?
Yes.
Go to the website.
Yes, evpl.org. We keep that very current with exciting things that are going on. So you can go to evpl.org/dia for Dia de los Muertos details. But on our homepage, we have a running selection of banners that are up to date with the most exciting things going on right at that moment.
Okay, well, lots of good stuff coming up. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Next up to discuss some upcoming events is Abby Dixon, Executive Director of the Henderson Tourism Commission. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So I know you said you got all kinds of great stuff coming up, so we're just going to start with what's planned after Halloween. What do we do?
Well, let's just start November 1st. How about that?
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
I'm
so-
taking notes.
November 1st is our annual Art Hop event. And this is such a special night in downtown Henderson. So picture this, we have these fabulous fabulous downtown boutiques and restaurants, and they transform into galleries after hours. So they each host a handful of local artists who are set up selling their paintings, their jewelry, whatever it might be. And how often do you get to actually interact with the artist and learn their story? So it's a really great chance, honestly, to get a head start on your Christmas shopping. I mean, I think giving the gift of art, local art, is so special. So Art Hop, November 1st, and that kind of kicks off our holiday season in Henderson.
And what time is that?
Yep, so 5 to 9
Okay.
on Friday night. I think the weather's looking pretty good, so.
I think so. Now, how did you pick which artists participate in that?
So if a local artist is interested in setting up, they apply. I don't think anyone is really turned down. We have a couple dozen this year. And it's a great chance to not only get out and explore our downtown, but again, connect with the local artists. So super excited about that. And I will tell you, also on November 1st, that's when our Candlelight Christmas Tour tickets go on sale.
Okay.
So this was an event that the Garden Club of Henderson started last year. It sold out in about 48 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So November 1st is a very big day in Henderson. So there are 8 of our historic downtown homes that are opening up their doors to ticket holders for this event on December 13th. You'll get to explore the beautiful architecture inside and outside of these beautiful homes. They'll be all done up for Christmas.
I was going to say, I bet they're decorated to the max.
Oh, yes. If you haven't been to downtown Henderson in a while, I'll tell you, we have one of the largest collections of fully restored 19th century homes in the entire state of Kentucky.
Really?
Yes. So if you're a history lover, definitely a good time to explore. And very rarely do you get to go into a stranger's house and explore. So
And just poke around.
Yes.
Now, is this a walking tour? Are people driving from house to house? I mean, I don't.
It's all walkable. It's within about 2 blocks on
Okay.
South Main Street. So again, 8 homes. You can park on the street, get out and walk. It's an on-your-own thing. So the event lasts from 4 to 8 that day. And you can start at, the house at the end, the house on the other end, the house in the middle, to go at your own pace kind of deal. So a lot of fun there.
Now, are the tickets on sale online, or how are they getting their tickets?
They're not online, so you will have to come visit us at the Depot Welcome Center in downtown Henderson. So tickets go on sale at 9 a.m. November 1st. If you want to give us a call, we'll do our best to accommodate you for those tickets.
And how much are they?
Limited quantity, $25.
Okay.
Yes, so really special time of year in Henderson. I'll also say November 2nd, so Saturday, we have our Dia de los Muertos event. Of course, this is a very vibrant Mexican holiday. You can expect traditional dancers, a live band, lots of activities for kids, and that's in Central Park. Free admission, lots of fun. So really looking forward to that.
And food, fun, and frivolity, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah. all the activities. Just a great way to celebrate as a community and kind of delve in more to this culture.
So will people be dressed up in costume for this one as well, or what are you expecting?
Yes. So you'll see the Katrines and Katrinas, which are kind of the whimsical skeleton critters, I guess you would say, people dressed in full costume. So it's always a lot of fun for the kiddos. Of course, we kind of associate it with Halloween, but it's really not Halloween at all.
Right.
So it's just another holiday that we get to celebrate together this week.
And who doesn't like dressing up again? I mean,
Exactly. It's a lot of fun. And there will be a beer garden with margaritas by Talkaholics.
Oh my goodness.
So if you just want to sit and observe, that's okay too.
And sip on margaritas.
Exactly.
So what other things happen in Henderson over the holidays?
Yeah, so we always say Henderson kind of feels like a Hallmark town during the holiday season, especially in our downtown district. So I will tell you, November 8th and 9th, that's when our holiday open houses take place. So all around Henderson, our local merchants will be showcasing their holiday collections. So great way to get a head start on your gift-giving ideas. They'll have refreshments, some will have music, just a really special time to start shopping and exploring. Whenever we move into December, our Christmas in the Park, which is in our historic Central Park downtown, that opens up on December 6th this year. So community tree lighting, we kind of transform the park into a Christmas village, looks like you're in a snow globe. So it's a great place to come and bring your kiddos. You can sip on hot chocolate, visit with Santa when he's in his little house there. And I'll also say Henderson is just a great place to walk around, explore. We're up close to the river, lots of parks, playgrounds, lots of great places for date night. One of my favorites is Cap and Cork, which has recently opened downtown. Have a great bourbon selection and delicious food too.
So it just might be the next setting for a Hallmark movie, right?
You never know.
That's right. You always put out
If you are from
feelers.
Hallmark and you're listening, give us a call.
Well, thank you so much. It sounds like a lot of great stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Finally, we're talking to Carrie Mobley, Executive Director of Visit Posey County, about some of the events happening there. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for
So
having me.
tell us, do you have anything going on this weekend? I bet you do.
We do. So every weekend, actually, we have haunted New Harmony ghost walks, and which are really exciting because not only are you learning about the buildings, but almost all of them have a haunted story behind them.
Okay.
And so the woman that does these walks, she's also a paranormal investigator, so she knows her stuff. So you kind of get to learn about the buildings, but also the ghost that lives in them and the history behind that, which is, I've been on one, it's pretty exciting, but during Halloween weekend especially, there might be some surprises. So tickets for that are on hauntednewharmony.com, and those are every Friday and Saturday from 7:30 to 9 p.m.
So still this weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they'll continue for a while throughout the season. So.
And what buildings do they go through? And
So one of them, like you start at Thrall's Opera House, which it gives me the creeps, but it's a really interesting building. A lot of them, you don't go in them, but you walk outside of them. So if you're too scared, don't worry, you don't have to go inside. But and then some of the downtown businesses have stories behind them. The Working Men's Institute, which is the oldest library in Indiana, that has some interesting things that happen there as well. But you have to experience it to really immerse yourself in the story. But it's something I would highly recommend doing if you visit New Harmony, not just during Halloween weekend, but most of the year they have those going on.
well, it's always getting a different twist on history.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. And sometimes she does them on golf carts or the fun little quirky things that make New Harmony special. So.
Right. Now, what about, I think you have a blues festival and retreat coming up. When is that and what happens there?
November 6th through 10th. This is our first ever New Harmony retreat and blues festival. So we have some renowned blues artists coming to town that are going to put on performances throughout the weekend. Those names are Ruth Wyand, Bex Marshall, and Carl Dixon, just to name a few. But we're really excited about this because it's the first time. So we're hoping to get some new people in town to experience the charm of New Harmony, because we have a saying that once you come one time, you will come back again and again because it's so special. But the Blues Festival will be something very exciting, especially for music lovers.
And where will it be? Where will you?
So
will it
the
take place?
performances will take place in some different locations, one being the Athenaeum, which is the big white building down by the river. And then there's also in Murphy Auditorium, which if you've ever been to any of the USI plays, that takes place in that same facility as well. Also, that's where the Under the Beams concert series takes place. So it's the auditorium right next to the Working Men's Institute.
Okay. Now, will this include local musicians, or what's
They
going
will
to
be
happen
traveling.
here?
They will be traveling from all over. But also, we do have some local blues singers that will put on their own concerts at some of the shops and restaurants throughout that time as well.
Okay, so I'm assuming there's also food and stuff going on.
Yeah, so all the restaurants will be open, and then we'll everybody just kind of, all the shops like to work together to create their own spin on what's going on that weekend. So exciting things to come. It's the first time it's happening, so we're hoping for a great turnout.
Right, so you don't have anything to measure it on, but
Right.
all right. So,
It's going to be great.
so what about Christmas in New Harmony? I
Christmas
can
in New
only
Harmony,
imagine you do some
yes.
exciting things for that.
Christmas in New Harmony is one of our favorite times. It's just beautiful there during Christmas, just like it is right now during fall. But that is the first weekend of December. So this year it's going to start on December 6th through the 8th. And it begins at the New Harmony Inn that night with a tree lighting ceremony to kind of kick off the weekend. And then throughout the weekend, we will have a Candyland section, which is going to be for the kiddos. And this year, we're going to have a petting zoo, a traveling petting zoo. Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to be there. We're going to have a selfie station, all kinds of fun little events for the kids to do and keep them entertained. Letters to Santa. And then Saturday morning at 10:30, we always have our big parade down Main Street.
Oh, okay.
So that's always an exciting event with different floats and seeing the different organizations compete against each other. And then all the shopping that's going on. We'll have shopping in the Riviera Gymnasium, as well as Community House number 2, which is an old dormitory from the Harmonist era. So it's really cool to go in and just see that building in general,
Right.
but we also have shopping in there this year as well. So it's really great for local crafters and vendors to get their products seen, but also a good time of year to start for Christmas shopping. There's a lot of unique things there that I always find something different every year that somebody loves for a Christmas gift that's specialized. So it's really a good time to get that local shopping done as well.
And then I can only assume after that initial weekend, I mean, the town's still decorated.
Yes,
and it would
it
just
stays
be
decorated all year long. So it's also just a great time if you just want to come out and go shopping to our shops or check out the scenery or take pictures. We're a popular location for photography. But yeah, it's really beautiful out there. And we'll also have carriage rides during Christmas in New Harmony.
Oh,
So,
really? And where
yeah.
do those go from? I mean, how?
So those will start on Main Street and go around the granary and all of our pretty locations and with the beautiful white horses and carriage. So the kids and couples love that. So
Okay.
it's great for a date night or for the family.
Lots of fun stuff to do.
Lots of
Thank
fun
you
stuff.
so much for
Thank
sharing
you so
with
much.
us. Thanks again to all of our guests today for telling us about some great upcoming events. I'm April Nading. Thanks for watching WNIN Newsmakers.